Russian propaganda says Ukraine is an artificial project of the West, namely that Poles and Austrians invented it in the 19th century. However, the name Ukraine was first used in the 12th century, and in the 17th century, Bogdan Khmelnytsky's uprising created the political project entitled so. So Ukraine has a much longer history than what Russia says. The Kremlin also says that medieval Rus was a Russian state. But the biggest rights to the name Rus belong actually to the Swedes and Finns. Rus was not about the Slavs, but about the Vikings, with antlers and beards. And no Russians existed then because there were no nationalities yet. Thus, the debate about the successor of Rus is meaningless. Russian propaganda also claims that historically Crimea belonged to Russia. Well, that's true, but only for 5% of Crimea's written history. For 11% of its history, Crimea was Crimean Tatar. It was also Greek, Turkish, Scythian and Ukrainian. So Russian Crimea doesn't look very deep historically. Russian propaganda also says that glory to Ukraine is a copy of the Nazi slogan Heil Hitler. But Ukrainians first chanted it during the Ukrainian national liberation struggle in 1917-1921. At that time, unknown Hitler fought in the trenches of the World War I. Could Ukrainian fighters for national liberation have a time machine? We don't think so. Russian propaganda loves to repeat that all Ukrainians are fascists. Well, in fact, Ukraine lost over 10 million people in the fight against Nazism. So one can hardly call Ukrainian fascists. Do you still confuse dates and events? Then read our book about Russian historical propaganda to sort things out.